Hello and welcome back to another edition of the MCR. My name is Mac, and to my right is TJ, or as you're looking at them, it's my left. I saw an article in one of my favorite websites. It was either the Right Scoop, Washington Examiner, or it didn't print here as to what the site was, but it's the GOP Cavalry Arrives. And it says, it opens up with, not long ago, President Biden and the congressional Democrats were riding high. They benefited from falling gas prices. Talk about a misnomer. Falling?
Oh, they just went up the past few days.
Yeah.
A rash that went up 5 cents just last night.
A rash of legislation, a foolish, but popular bailout, student debt bailout, several weak GOP candidates, and voter backlash to the reversal of Roe versus Wade. I have thoughts on that for another videos too. And it says now it's autumn and there's a change in the political temperature. Republican polls suggest Republicans have a path to a Senate majority. That would be great as long as someone other than Mitch McConnell, this is my personal opinion, other than Mitch McConnell were Senate Majority Leader. And my personal choice there would be Rand Paul.
Well, and I'm going to throw in at this time, if Trafalgar Cahaley is the guy's name, if his theory is correct, but he even confesses it is only a theory because he's not even sure if it's provable, so thus a theory, that there is a submerged voter demographic group out there, we'll say. Assuming his theory is correct, then perhaps we have a chance for what you say in regards to the Senate.
One of my worries is that, along with I'll throw in Kevin McCarthy here. It's the same trick black people fall for with Democrats. You know, we're going to vote Republican in hopes that we get some conservative action, only to find out that we just end up with weakness and snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. While they certainly take care of themselves very well, they don't take care of us very well when they have the power. And when they don't have the power, I'll quote you in saying the Democrats are kicking your A, and the Republicans are content to look the other way. That is the since Ronald Reagan's days, that's the history of the Republican Party. And if you think otherwise, you can tell me in the comment section. But
in regards to the headline that you read, GOP Cavalry Arrives, I wouldn't be so convinced of that, given the fact that I read an article about a significant list of Republican politicians running for the House and Senate are getting money from Bill Gates.
Yeah.
I did not see McCarthy on the list because I'm looking at the list right now. But the likes of Dan Crenshaw's on the list.
Well, there's a shock.
Yeah, shocker. As far as Senators Cornyn, here's a surprise, Susan Collins. This is going to be a little bit of a disappointment because I like the guy, John Kennedy, out of Louisiana.
Yeah, that is a disappointment. But you know what? Let's look at, if we were to take an in-depth look at his record, is he like Lindsey Graham where he talks a big game but does nothing?
Let's see, is Graham on the list here? Mitt Romney is, no surprise there. Marco Rubio's on the list.
That doesn't surprise me either. He's another guy that talks tough when they're out of power.
Yeah.
He's like I'll use a baseball analogy here. He's the guy that hits the home run when you're up 10-0. And he's the guy that hits the home run when you're down 10-0. It's meaningless.
Yeah. I bring up this list only in response to the GOP Cavalry Arrives.
Yeah.
You know what?
Not confident.
I hope there's a GOP Cavalry to arrive.
Yeah. And you know what? You have, on the other hand, these candidates like Liz Cheney who are out supporting Democrats so that we can defeat America First candidates is what I'll call it. Trump-supported candidates.
I did do a solo segment, Hell Hath No Fury Like a Woman Scorned.
Yeah, or Merrick Garland, who's a woman, essentially, in his behavior. An emotional woman, not a patriot woman, which we have many of on this in our subscribers. So I hear President Trump was in your vicinity yesterday.
Yes,
Here in Michigan.
in the city with which I reside, President Trump was, I'll say, in close proximity to me. I did not attend, given the logistics of basically you need to take a 24-hour block and commit yourself because you're going to stand in line overnight. If you want to, these venues, and this is part of my frustration here, at least in Michigan, I don't know what the malfunction here is, but when he comes to Michigan, he's not going to very large venues. Some months ago, he went to Washington Township, and I think they couldn't even handle 3,000. And the venue he went to yesterday was just a few thousand. So, if you want to get in, you got to get there the night before.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I wonder, at least anyway. I don't know this. And I suppose with a little digging, we could find out. The biggest venue in the state would be Michigan Stadium at the University of Michigan. They're not letting him stay
they're not
there.
Gonna, you know what? And they're certainly not going to, as far as Wayne County, it wouldn't even be safe. Wouldn't be safe for the supporters to show up there.
Right. They're not going to be at Ford Field or Comerica Park or Michigan State, certainly.
I mean, the only chance you would have, weather permitting, is to pick a venue well outside the Detroit metropolitan area if you wanted to have any kind of a sizable,
maybe Grand Rapids,
a sizable crowd congregate. But, I guess what my frustration is, these venues are not very big. Now at yesterday's event, Tudor Dixon, which we don't have a whole lot of hope for.
No.
Matthew DePerno, who's running for Attorney General, for all his claim to fame, my fear is he's going to come up short. And then Christina Caramo,
who I like a great deal.
And I made the comment some months ago that I was almost hoping that the coattails might work in reverse. And what I mean by that is she's very well liked and highly thought of. And even though she's running for the lowly Secretary of State office,
which is a critically important office in every state,
if when you go back to the hanky-panky of 2020, okay, all of a sudden you see the importance of that particular office. Christina Caramo she has such a high favorability, and there goes my wishful thinking of the coattails working in reverse. A lower office bringing out the vote for the higher office. And
right.
I don't know how successful that's going to be. That's wishful thinking.
Well,
I understand.
Can't think of an example where that ever happened. And so you might be right. I mean, are there examples? Sure. If you know one, leave one in the comment section. But off the top of my head, I can't think of it.
And I'm compelled to bring a name, which I'm sure will elicit a response from Mac here. John James. Since he has failed at running for senator, he is now running for the House of Representatives. And, I guess we're talking about a guy, you talk about holding your nose and voting, okay?
Yeah.
And they say ultimately you're picking the lesser of two evils. This guy needs to go away. And I'm talking about a Republican candidate.
He supported Rashida Tlaib. All I need to know.
We're talking about a Republican candidate that just needs to go.
Well, all of his ads are him flying a helicopter in the military, and you know this as well.
Well, his latest ad was him catching a football, and I could hardly.
No, let's elect Kirk Gibson.
I could hardly make it through that political ad of his.
Desmond Howard to the House of Representatives for catching footballs.
He needs to go away.
Yeah, he's trying to become a professional politician. I don't support him. I have in the past, but no more.
And when you bring a professional politician, normally they work their way up the ladder, not down.
That's true. He's tried to start. The Senate is a big deal. You shouldn't start at the Senate. Oh, well, President Trump did start at the presidency. So.
This is where I get frustrated with the GOP establishment here in Michigan, and this would be an example. So that's it. That's it.
Okay. You close it up?
I guess so. I'm running out of words to say. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.